Welcome back to another video. My name is Gordon Frayne, and today we are looking at how to use UNISWAP, the decentralized exchange. As always, though, before we jump into today's video, please make sure to drop a thumbs up below if you enjoy the content. We are dropping multiple videos every single week, so you're going to want to get notified when they drop. So hit that bell notification icon and make sure you're subscribed so you can stay up to date with all of the latest movements in the cryptocurrency space. So we're going to jump into today's video and talk about how to use UNISWAP. So if you're not familiar with UNISWAP, UNISWAP is the leading decentralized exchange. And we're going to be looking at instructions on how to do all of these 6 points in today's video. So an introduction to DEXs, connecting your wallet, using different chains and networks, gas fees, swapping tokens, and liquidity provision. But first and foremost, what is a decentralized exchange? Well, you might be familiar with many centralized exchanges like Binance or Coinbase and some of these very popular centralized exchanges, but those centralized exchanges basically act as the middleman when you are purchasing tokens. So, for example, if you wanted to swap Maker for USDC, you're going through the centralized exchange as the intermediary who are facilitating that transaction. So they have all of these tokens on the centralized exchange, and they allow you to swap your Ethereum via the centralized exchange like Binance for USDC, as an example. However, with decentralized exchanges operate by using smart contracts to connect users on more of a peer-to-peer basis, so that when you want to swap, let's say, UNISWAP token for USDC, you are doing that via a smart contract. So there is no centralized intermediary in the middle of the transaction, but rather a smart contract that says, Gordon wants to swap 10 uni for however much that is equivalent to in USDC, and that is facilitated by a smart contract being executed on the blockchain rather than going through a centralized intermediary. So at a very high level, that is what a decentralized exchange is. And in order to use UNISWAP, first of all, you want to come over to uniswap.org. And this is their website. Obviously, you can take a look through it. But in order to actually use the decentralized exchange, you're going to want to click on Launch App. And that's going to open up the Uniswap interface. Okay? So first and foremost, you're going to be presented with this interface that allows you to basically start swapping tokens immediately. You can do swap, limit, send, or buy. We're going to be looking at this at a very high level to begin with. But the first thing we need to do is we need to connect your wallet. So obviously, one of the first things it does here is prompts you to connect a wallet. Now, of course, because we're using a decentralized exchange, we need to connect a wallet where you have funds already in order to swap tokens on the decentralized exchange. Because again, a decentralized exchange implies that you have your own assets already and you are the custodian of your assets. Because centralized exchanges like Binance and Coinbase, they hold your assets for you in a centralized manner. But a decentralized exchange works on the premise that you have your own wallet and you are holding custody of your tokens in the first place, and then the decentralized exchange is simply facilitating the swapping of those tokens with smart contracts. So what we want to do first is connect a wallet. And if we click on Connect Wallet, you'll see that Uniswap gives us the option to connect various different types of wallets. We're going to use MetaMask for today's example, but again, you're going to need to create one of these wallets and have funds on that wallet in order to actually use a decentralized exchange in the first place. So let's connect the MetaMask wallet. First and foremost, it's already just connected there straight away because I have MetaMask installed on my browser, but it might prompt you to enter your password for your wallet if you're connecting it for the first time. So what we can see now is that MetaMask is connected to my Uniswap account, and we can see that I have some funds in my particular wallet on the BNB chain here by default. So the next thing we're going to look at here is the different chains and networks, because Uniswap is compatible with a number of different networks. And this button here allows us to connect or use various networks on the Uniswap exchange. So basically, I'm connected to BNB chain by default because I've got some BNB funds in my MetaMask wallet, but we can switch the network here and it will open up my MetaMask and it's going to ask me to change the network in my MetaMask wallet as well. You can see then that it's going to ask us to give permission for Uniswap to access the Ethereum mainnet via my MetaMask wallet. So we can then click on switch network and give it permission to do so. And then that's going to approve the Uniswap exchange to access the Ethereum network via my MetaMask wallet. And you can see that this has now been updated to ETH and we've moved over to the Ethereum network. So of course, depending on which networks you have tied to your MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet you're using, you can basically use this function here to switch between the networks. And this is important because you may not be wanting to make a swap or a purchase on the Ethereum network, and Uniswap may default to the Ethereum network when you connect your wallet initially, but you might be wanting to make a change or a swap on the Binance network. So therefore, you're going to want to make sure that you switch over to the Binance network or the BNB chain in order to actually make that swap that you want to do. So we're going to go back to the Binance Smart Chain because this is the network we're going to use for today's example. But basically, you will give the permission once again for Uniswap to access the Binance Smart Chain via your MetaMask wallet. Okay, so we are back on the BNB chain here in Uniswap, and what we're going to do now is we're going to discuss gas fees very briefly. But basically, because we're using a decentralized exchange and we want to make a swap here with the tokens that we're going to do an example for, we do need to pay some fees in order for that to happen. Again, the whole idea here with decentralized exchanges is that the fees are much cheaper and much less than if you're using a decentralized exchange. And the more liquidity and the more people that come into the decentralized ecosystem and into the into this cryptocurrency space, the more popular these DEXs are becoming, the more liquidity is there and the cheaper that it becomes at scale for people to use DEXs over centralized exchanges. So for example, what we're going to do here is we're going to do a quick swap for BNB to USDT, just as a quick example to show you. So we're not going to do that. We're going to go 0.001 or 01, which is about $4 worth of BNB. And we're going to swap that to give us $3.94. Let's make it $4 even, let's say, if that's possible. Yeah. So we're going to swap 0.01 worth of BNB to 4 USDT. And you can see here that we've got a fee or a network cost of 19 cents in order to do that transaction. The other thing you'll notice is even if we were to do like 10 BNB, which is like $3,000, the network cost is pretty much the exact same. It doesn't matter if you're sending $10,000 or $4. That's the beauty of these decentralized exchanges. The fees for using them are so low, and it doesn't matter. Not that it doesn't matter, but you can see the difference here is minimal with sending $10,000 versus $4. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do this swap as an example, but you must remember that we do have BNB in our wallet already. So we have some BNB funds, but if we execute this swap, it's going to ask us to confirm the swap, and then it's going to start initiating the MetaMask wallet. So this is going to happen because we basically need to give permission for the swap to happen via the smart contract. So once you click on confirm swap, it's going to open up your MetaMask wallet, and your MetaMask wallet is going to prompt you to approve the swap transaction. So once this pops up, we're going to click on confirm in order to confirm the swap. Okay, now we can see that the swap has been submitted. We can even view that on the Explorer by opening it up, but we're going to close this for the moment. And we just saw that the swap was successful. And now we can see that our wallet has been credited with $4 worth of Tether. So the Binance or the BNB value has dropped from 1777 to 1377, and we can see that $4 has been added into our wallet for Tether. So again, we can close our wallet, and that's how simple it is. You have executed a swap via a decentralized exchange using your MetaMask wallet, and you have been able to swap BNB for USDT. And again, you can use this to find any asset that you want. So Uniswap supports a large amount of tokens and assets. So you can basically use a decentralized exchange to swap BNB for DAI or, Ethereum to BNB. You don't have to do a stablecoin. You don't have to use a centralized intermediary. You can set up these swaps very easily. So the final thing we're going to look at here in the Uniswap tutorial is basically about liquidity pools. So this is the other side of things where you can act as a market maker and you can provide liquidity to these centralized exchanges to earn fees off of the people who are doing swaps and transactions. So what we just saw a moment ago, you remember with the example that we did for the BNB to USDT, you saw that we paid an 18 cents transaction fee in order to execute that swap. So on the other side of things, you've got liquidity providers who are providing liquidity for all of these different trading pairs on the decentralized exchange, and those liquidity providers are earning that 18 cents fee that we just paid in order to execute our transaction. So if you want to be a market maker or a liquidity provider, what you can do is come over to the pools area on Uniswap. You can click new position, and then you can select the pair that you want to provide liquidity to. So for example, we could choose to provide liquidity to that same pair that we just did an example on. The fee tier that we would choose should be the one that is the most popular. So 58% of people select the 0.05% fee tier. What we can then do is we can provide liquidity based on a specific range. So if we know that the price for one BNB is $394 today, then we can provide liquidity or concentrated liquidity for a price range of, let's say, $385 up to $400. And what that means is, as long as BNB is trading within the range of $385 to $400, which it is at the moment, $394, we are going to earn fees from providing liquidity into that particular trading pair. So for example, I don't have all of this in my account or in my MetaMask wallet right now, but we could provide, for example, $1,000 worth of USDT plus 1.5 BNB, which is another $615 for a total liquidity provision of $1,615, and we're going to earn fees on our $1,615 every time that someone makes a transaction for this particular pair. Again, you saw the transaction fee in our previous example was about 18 cents, but there's so much volume happening on these decentralized exchanges that there's hundreds and thousands of transactions happening every single minute. Those fees begin to add up over time. And as a liquidity provider who provides, let's say, $1,600 worth of liquidity, you get paid out as a percentage of how much liquidity you're providing to that pool. So again, there's probably something like $2 or $3 million, probably even more, maybe $5 or $10 million of liquidity being provided for this particular pair. And if we're providing $1,600, we're going to get paid out in a percentage of how much of the transaction fees our $1,600 is worth compared to the total amount of liquidity for that particular pair on Uniswap. We're going to be doing, much more in-depth videos with regards to liquidity provision and providing liquidity and earning transaction fees based on liquidity provision as a concentrated liquidity market maker. But it's too much to dive into in just this video, but I just wanted to explain briefly basically how the other side of the decentralized exchange works. You've got liquidity providers who are providing the liquidity in order for those swaps to happen, and they can earn fees as a result of that. And we'll be providing other videos to show you how you can earn fees by doing liquidity provision on DEXs as well. But that is a high-level introduction to how to use Uniswap Decentralized Exchange. As always, if you enjoy these videos, please make sure to drop a thumbs up on the video below. Make sure to hit the bell notification icon and make sure you're subscribed, because we are dropping multiple videos every single week. You're going to want to get notified about them and stay up to date on everything in the cryptocurrency space in order to hit your crypto goals. As always, we will catch you in the next one.